Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Marketa Vondrousova rips Coco Gauff's ex-coach Brad Gilbert. Disgusted with you too. Marketa Vondrousova seemingly felt indirectly called out by Brad Gilbert's recent take, and the 2023 Wimbledon champion wasn't impressed with it at all, saying that she was disgusted with Coco Gauff's ex-coach. In case you missed it, Vondrousova overcame Elena Rybakina in a 3-set U.S. Open round of 16 showdown to set up another exciting matchup against Aryna Sabalenka. But just before taking on the Belarusian world number 1, the Czech tennis player pulled out of the match, citing a knee injury. Appearing on Andy Roddick's Served podcast, Gilbert, who guided Gauff to her maiden Grand Slam win at the 2023 U.S. Open, was asked if he would change some rules in tennis. That's when the 64-year-old revealed that he has an issue with players who play only a few days after claiming to have picked up an injury. I do get totally annoyed now about players pulling a rip cord in the middle of a match, and then they play next week. It is a really weird thing that a guy is pulling a rip cord in the 3rd or 4th round, and then literally it wasn't that bad that you could play next week. Or you're playing the doubles the next day. There should be a rule against that if you pull out of match. You can't play next week, Gilbert said. Vondrousova hits back at Gilbert. Let's give athletes hell for being injured. A Czech sporting publication wrote an article about Gilbert's recent comments. And seemingly, the publication, as well as the Czech tennis star herself, felt those remarks were directed at the 2023 Wimbledon winner. The former world number 6 reposted the article in question to her Instagram story and wrote, "Let's give athletes hell for being injured. I'm disgusted with Brad too." Translated from Czech. After withdrawing from the Sabalenka match, Vondrousova said that making such a decision broke my heart. Novak Djokovic enjoyed a notable run at majors in 2025, scoring 20 victories at 38 and reaching 4 semifinals. However, the legend lost all the matches against the top 3 rivals, wrapping up his season without a major final for the first time since 2017. Novak's defeat to Carlos Alcaraz in the U.S. Open semifinal marked the closing of one of tennis' most remarkable eras. For the first time since 2002, none of the big 3, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic, managed to reach a major final in a season. The greatest players of the Open era started their journey at Wimbledon 2003, when the Swiss maestro lifted a trophy in his first major final. 22 years later, they are the proud owners of 66 notable trophies. The extraordinary run had been alive for over 2 decades, with the 3 great rivals pushing each other to the limits and leaving everyone behind. Men's tennis lived under the shadow of their dominance until 2023, and it's unlikely that we will witness anything similar in the future. Year after year, one of the 3 giants was a fixture in the latter stages of the sport's greatest stages, the ones that inspired them to compete at their best and chase tennis history. Between Wimbledon 2003 and the U.S. Open 2023, Roger, Rafa, and Novak missed only 7 major finals collectively, maintaining an unmatched standard of excellence for over 2 decades and ruining many careers. Federer left the party in 2019, but Nadal and Djokovic extended the legacy in the upcoming years. The Spaniard faded in 2022, and the Serb stood strong for 2 more years, especially in 2023, when he claimed 3 titles from 4 finals at 36. Novak reached another Wimbledon final last year, marking the 21st consecutive season with at least 1 major final for Big 3. However, the veteran started to lose ground against much younger rivals in demanding best-of-5 scenarios. As we already said, Djokovic bested 20 rivals at majors this season, including Carlos Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev. However, a blend of injuries and the freshness of the young guns halted his plans and kept him away from the title matches. Thus, the 2025 season brought a turning point, signaling the close of a chapter that defined golden tennis era. While the big May 3rd no longer be reaching major finals, their legacy of consistency, resilience, and brilliance remains woven into the very fabric of tennis history. Marketa Vondrousova, the resilient 2023 Wimbledon champion, had electrified the 2025 U.S. Open. Battling through rounds with grit and flair, She was poised to face world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka in a quarterfinal showdown. Then, heartbreak struck. A knee injury forced her to withdraw mere hours before the match. The tennis world held its breath until Brad Gilbert, famed analyst and Coco Gauff's former coach, delivered a judgment that ignited fury. The injury, the exit, the snub. Vondrousova's withdrawal was not taken lightly. It was a gut punch to fans and opponents alike. In her warm-up, she felt the nagging knee pain resurface, leaving her unable to compete at her usual level. The decision was agonizing, but medically sound. Enter Brad Gilbert, speaking on the Serve podcast with Andy Roddick, who dismissed the withdrawal as suspect. It is a really weird thing that a guy is pulling a ripcord in the 3rd or 4th round, and then literally it wasn't that bad that you could play next week. Or you are playing the doubles the next day. There should be a rule against that. If you pull out of a match, you can't play next week. Sportskeeda. Clay-toned logic at best, tone-deaf at worst. Vondrousova's takedown, a single line, a thundering roar. On September 5, 2025, she took to her Instagram stories. Her platform, her moment. In check, but clear in meaning. Let's give Sportsman soda for being injured. I'm also disgusted, Brad. Sportskeeda. In a single dismissive line, she underscored the absurdity of his comparison, mocking the notion that deserving soda is the only consolation injured athletes should expect. Her disgust mirrored that of any professional who's seen the sport prioritize optics over well-being. Echoes of solidarity. Interestingly, the tennis community rallied. Aryna Sabalenka, her would-be opponent, offered a warm message. So sorry for Marketa after all she's been through. She has been playing amazing tennis. I hope you can recover quickly. Sportskeeda. Humanity, on and off the court, still has champions. The context, Gilbert and Gauff, a brief, storied collaboration. For context, Brad Gilbert joined Coco Gauff's team in mid-2023. He guided her to her breakthrough, the 2023 U.S. Open title and deep semifinal runs at the Australian and French Opens in 2024. People.com. Reuters. The Guardian. Yet cracks appeared. Gauff's early exits and serving woes, especially at Wimbledon, where she famously yelled at Gilbert courtside, hinted at growing tension. Reuters. The Guardian. BBC. By September 2024, they parted ways. Mutual messages assured no ill will, just the end of a chapter in both their careers. Reuters. ABC News. BBC. New York Post. Fast forward to August 2025, Gauff once again changed her coaching team, this time parting ways with Matt Daly and bringing biomechanics specialist Gavin McMillan on board ahead of the U.S. Open. Reuters. The Guardian. This underscores the dynamic, always evolving nature of elite tennis. Creative reflection, the stakes behind one word. Imagine the scene. Vondrousova, limping in the locker room, absorbing the sharp sting of disappointment. Gilbert's words, drifting in as an echo, unsympathetic, dismissive. And then, her message, a crystalline strike with no wasted words. Her disgusted isn't just protest, it's defiance. Against a culture that trivializes athlete health. Against snide punditry that presumes motivation and professionalism on a timeline viewers can judge. For every player who's faced injury with integrity. In that moment, she became more than an injured athlete. She became a voice, fierce, candid, uncompromising. Final thoughts. Vondrousova's withdrawal was heartbreaking yet justified. Gilbert's commentary, proposing a punitive rule, crossed a line from analysis into insensitivity. Her retort, sharp and personal, was an emblem of athlete dignity. The broader arc, Gilbert's coaching history, Gauff's recent staff changes, shifting expectations in tennis, helps frame the moment's magnitude. In the end, it's a reminder. Athletes aren't performances to be judged. They're humans with strength, pride, and the right to withhold trust from those who forget that.